18 cases that they caught in quarantine. There's also 2 additional cases from the Guard. These were soldiers returning from a deployment in Washington, D.C. for the inauguration of Biden-Harris. And so we got Janela here from Public Health, hopefully able to shed more light on these issues. Janela, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Chris. Good morning, Bree.
Good morning.
Yeah, so I don't have information about the Guards member
Right.
who tested positive, but I do have some information about the 18 individuals who tested positive while in quarantine at the QFAC. So I needed to actually clarify the information. I know that there was a story that ran in the PDN. I did reach out to the PDN to clarify that story. So it's not 2 large families. It's actually 18 different households or 18 different families. I'm sorry, 11 different families. I apologize. 11 different families or 11 different households that those 18 positive cases were from. So I did have to seek further clarification when I reported the information. So I have reached out to PDN, and they are correcting the information that was provided. So the travelers came in all in different flights. They weren't all in the same flight, and it was between January 19th through January 26th. And they all were, they have 6 days where they are in quarantine before they're offered the test. And so they tested positive between January 28th through the 31st, or February 1st. So that's the information that I have with regards to those 18 positive cases.
What about the contact tracing?
Yeah, so contact tracing is ongoing with regards to those 18 positive cases. All 18 are in isolation. Most of them are in our isolation facilities. Some were able to proceed to home isolation. I believe there were a couple of those households where it was a family of 5, and I think it was a family of 5 where there were 4 adults, and then maybe one of them was a minor, and the minor did not test positive. And in that instance, the family went to the isolation facility, and because there was no one to care for the minor went ahead to the isolation facility with the family, the adult. But yes, contact tracing is happening for all the cases, of course.
Did they come in on an international flight or domestic?
When I reviewed the cases, most of them were on a United flight, and so it appears as though these came from the mainland, from the U.S. mainland.
And how long is it going to take for this, genome sequencing?
I'm not too sure exactly how long it takes for the samples to produce results as far as what the variant strains will tell us. When we send the samples off to the CDC, because, the Guam is part of the national surveillance SARS-CoV-2 testing part of the U.S. So in terms of how long it takes for us to get the results, I'm not too sure how long that takes, because we're not the only jurisdiction that's part of that. But once we do get the results back, we do plan on sending more samples back to the CDC. And, most of our samples will come from our quarantined facility, but we also send samples from the community as well. When we take samples, we try to randomize it. It really depends on how quickly the CDC tests these samples. And once we do get the results back, of course, we'll let the community know what the results are.
So prior to the 18 that were sent, were there any other samples that were sent?
No, the 20 that we sent to the CDC, that was the first time we ever sent samples to the CDC.
Where did the other 2 come from?
No, so the 20 samples that we sent, I believe it was just sent last week. And that was the 20 that were collected throughout the year last year. And they're not, the 18 that tested positive recently, I don't believe those 18 were part of the 20 that were recently sent to the CDC.
Okay, yeah, we were under the understanding that the 18 were sent for genome sequencing testing. So,
no.
Okay, so
No, the 20 specimens that were recently sent to the CDC did not contain any of the 18 positives that recently returned from QFAC with recent travel history.
Are they going to be sent off?
It's possible that the 18 that tested positive recently may be part of the samples that we'll send once we receive the results from the CDC. It's possible, because what we're going to do is we're going to freeze samples from the quarantine facility. So it's possible that some of the samples that we do freeze will come from these 18 recently tested positive cases.
Okay. That's pretty much all you have on that, Janela?
Yeah, for the 18 positive cases, that's the information that I have. So it's 11 different households or 11 different families, which I had to further clarify. It's not 2 large families, and they came from different flights that were from that ranged between January 19th through January 26th.
Okay. Thank you.
thanks, Janela.
All right.
See you.
Thank you.
Okay.
No problem.
Well, are you coming on tomorrow? We're getting DEH tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
7:15.
Right on. Okay. Thanks, Janela. All right. 9:35. We'll go right